to the Do It All Dad Year podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Controlling our kids through comedy can make our kids great again. My kids are living proof of it, all three of them. And this is episode 44. My 4-year-old's Peckerwood versus me too. This is me being the stay-at-home comedian. Arthur, put Peckerwood away. You're going to poke my eye out with that thing. This is my wife addressing me, the stay-at-home comedian. You're promoting rape culture, talking to your son like that. My reply, he's 4. You're assaulting his age of innocence. You're promoting rape culture, talking to your son like that. He's 4. Let Nature Boy strut in his childhood wonderland. Woo! You're promoting rape culture, talking to your son like that. He's 4. Plus, poking is a more accurate description than screwing. Arthur, put Peckerwood away. This is after the bubble and my son being naked. Not to be too graphic over here. Arthur, put Peckerwood away. You're going to poke my eye out with that thing. Wife replies, you're promoting rape culture, talking to your son like that. I'm not telling Arthur to I fuck Caroline without her consent. Arthur, put Peckerwood away. You're going to poke my eye out with that thing. Wife, you're promoting rape culture, talking to your son like that. Babe, you're suppressing non-puss grabbing locker room talk. Honey. Arthur, put Peckerwood away. You're going to poke my eye out with that thing. You're promoting rape culture, talking to your son like that. Great. Now you want to strip boys of all imaginative thrusts too? Arthur, put Peckerwood away. You're going to poke my eye out with that thing. Wife, you're promoting rape culture. I tell Matilda to cover it up so the Chinese underworld has less to see. This is me, the stay-at-home comedian. Hope you guys enjoyed that extremely ballsy opener. Stay-at-home comedian. It shouldn't be ballsy because, and the one response that I forgot to include is my wife saying, you're promoting rape culture by addressing your son's member as Peckerwood, and by you saying that stupid line where you're saying, you're going to poke my eye out with that thing, you're promoting rape culture. No, actually, I'm controlling my kids through comedy. You could check out all 43 of my episodes prior for some insight, in case you're ever interested, babe. Glad that got wrapped together real nice. So this is last night, hanging out with my kids, wife's working, the stay-at-home comedian being me. This before, actually, my wife went to work. Had a very productive week on WordPress. I'm putting together chapter editions for my comedic masterpiece book on my experience of being a stay-at-home comedian / father of 3 and host of the Do It All Dad Year podcast called The Stay-at-Home Comedian, Controlling My Kids Through Comedy. I mentioned before. And I'm making all these chapter editions that I can include in proposals to send to publishers. So, again, very strong week. Got in lots of love on WordPress, which is great. Thank you all. Lots of poem entries, very short poems. Chapter editions, some short stories. Really stretching my muscles. And I did, for those interested, I did write Raising a Benchwarmer, which came out really well. From my dad's perspective about raising a benchwarmer. Now, I thought that, originally, the idea was that my dad, you were going to get insight into him questioning, where he went wrong as a influential father figure who ended up raising a consummate waste of height, who's highlighted in high school basketball, playing varsity, was lining up an old Japanese team for a whopping 10 points. And this team happened to be a private Japanese school in Westchester County. So, and again, anyone could have scored 10 points against this team because, especially when you were my size compared to where they came up to me. Every time I drifted a hoop, their players ran away scared from me, like they were movie extras in a Godzilla film. So, but it turns out when I was true to my dad's character, and this wasn't my intention writing the story, my dad's persona took over, and my dad's persona is not one to really allow much room for self-critical examinatory thought. Yeah, being the full-blown narcissist that he is. So I read it to my wife and found her laughing a lot at my dad's extremely a-hole-ish lines directed in my favor, where I was very brutal. So, just when your wives, they act like they're better than you guys, especially in this age of Me Too. They're really not. Yeah. Especially when they laugh at such, brutal lines where you completely decimate your persona or surging mojo in this world for the sake of fictional entertainment that you could include in a book that could become a bestseller and use that for leverage in your life, God forbid, to get a bigger home and actually feel like a man of the world again. And not just a schmuck in a headset. Before I was a schmuck in a headset doing being a cold-calling monkey / indentured servant as IT headhunter. Now I can say I'm a schmuck in a headset talking to you guys through this podcast until I actually get a noteworthy Apple. So it would be nice if I could get some love sometime this millennium. Okay, I don't make fun of Barack Obama all the time. All right, so I mean, really, Apple. Like, can you name a more emotive, loving, wisdom spewing stay-at-home comedian father 3 than myself? That's banging out high quality, high entertaining podcasts with my sort of Fast and Furious rate? Doubtful, severely. And I don't have the insufferable attitude of a Michael Savage who claims like everyone is like not funny. But I don't want to ruin my flow and have a old arrogant Jew from the Bronx F up my flow. Now, again, it's my birthright to call him a self-involved arrogant Jew because I am a member of the tribe. My dad's a Jew from the Bronx, so that's that. So this stay-at-home comedian, this is me from last night. This is me addressing the family while everyone's in the bubble. Stay-at-home comedian. Daddy is going to be a best-selling author. Wife says, make it work then. And then my daughter says, Mama hates you for believing in you in a galaxy far, far away. Ha! Daughter adds, what? You just showed me the Family Guy Star Wars episode on Hulu, Daddy. Ha! I love laughing at my own material. Definitely a sign that it works. And why should Eddie Murphy have all the fun? Important lesson, folks, for any of you aspiring stand-up comedians that are out there. I remember my first year of stand-up not getting any laugh out louds at all whatsoever. I was at like one standalone. And the thing is, you really got to be like brutal. Like, you can write something one night and it makes you laugh out loud, but read it the next day because it's not always a guarantee it's going to make you laugh out loud again. And always like try to make sure that you're not just like getting lost in like wordplay land. That you actually have like a message idea behind it. Like, those are the best ones. Don't go for the easy stuff. Nick DiPaolo told me that, and I completely agree with him, and he's great. And I blew him away with the Lewis script that I wrote when I was working for Robert Half. Wrote it on a train, by the way. Bob Dylan says he got his best writing done on trains, something to do with perpetual motion. So, something to keep in mind. And then I wrote Nick DiPaolo a pilot. I said, I saw him perform at Caroline's. He killed me. He was so funny. There was like no one in the crowd, which like depressed the hell out of me. The reason why I'm hell bent on writing this book. So I can't imagine being such a great joke writer like Nick DiPaolo and barely, not even coming close to selling out Caroline's. And he looks in the crowd. He goes, "Oh, the place about half full. That's about right for me." Yeah. And I was screaming that night. And these yahoos from wherever they were looking at me like I was crazy. But he was so funny. I wrote him a direct message that night saying, "Nick, it's a travesty. You don't have your own pilot. I would love to write one for you. Will you read it?" Yes. And then I came up with this idea of Bobby Sladen. Bobby's still slaying him Sladen, playing his brother. He got back to me immediately. It was a great idea. I wrote it. He didn't love in the end, but Nick did give me some love on a blog I read not too long ago after Ivanka gave that speech at the Republican National Convention. And no one got back to me, but Nick did. And he said, "Great blog, Josh. Thanks for sharing." I give him props for inspiring me, for being fearless in my writing and approach to comedy. So I love you, Nick DiPaolo. You're great. And as far as if we're going to rank best roasters, he takes a giant dump on Anthony Jeselnik, and he's, I think, just as funny as Lisa Lampanelli, if not more. Definitely not as, traditionally, hacky, and doesn't go for like the easy stuff, and definitely got more personality, and definitely has a less annoying voice than Lisa Lampanelli. and he's got more machismo than Jeff Ross. So it really comes down to him and Greg Giraldo, and they were good buds. So that makes me laugh. And that Louis spec that I wrote for him back in the day, it was like 4 years ago already. It's called Patrice Appreciation Day, and it was in honor of his late great friend Patrice O'Neill. Who's definitely one of the great ones. In the beginning of that spec, I had the song play "He Was a Friend of Mine" by Bob Dylan, and Louis' character is trying on his hat, one of his hats from his last special. Elephant in the room, and he starts crying and has a really interesting exchange with his daughters. So it's a great script. You can check it out on my Dear Data website, which is my first writing showcase website. And I'm pretty sure it's on my Do It All Dad Year as well, so you can check it out there as well. Do It All Dad Year, and it's called Patrice Appreciation Day. Pretty cool, folks. Again, Twitter is a very powerful messaging tool. I've been shadow banned about 8 times. I'm now literally on my 8 Twitter feed, so shadow banning is a real thing. And apparently, you can't even make fun of your wife anymore on Twitter without being shadow banned. And we'll get to that material later. But, so, obviously, fake news for Colin Kaepernick is off the list. You can't do that. You can't make fun of LeBron James, who's basically Obama with talents. And you can't make fun of any sort of female at all whatsoever. Apparently, you get away with making fun of Susan Jiang because, her writing is... pure gremlin poo, and I guess she's not that interesting in the first place. So that's a positive. So this is a new piece that I put together, and originally I was going to call this episode "Snuggling 40s versus My Swinging 20s," but I sampled it on This Woman Looks After My Kid Arthur pre-K, and didn't really blow her away. I have a feeling she's kind of disappointed by it. I sense that I stripped away my sexy mojo. But I got great material here, so I'm going to share it with you. So here we go. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. Feel way more secure than tearing through rubbers like they were paper mache. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. Thanks to kettlebell workouts and banning whiskey at home, I'm more centered than ever. No longer hitting on hot lovin'. With reckless abandon helps also. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. It's like being a slut in a straitjacket. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. You've seen enough Woody Allen films to know better. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. The sweaty sex period lasts 2 months max. Unless you're mounting Elle the Body McPherson on a steady basis. Her sister has a video on Pornhub. You're welcome. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. I had her pictures plastered all over my bedroom walls as a kid. That was before I had erected my wailing wall of metal, which is a tribute to all of my hair metal gods. Another great episode I wrote as part of my pilot trilogy for my Poly Picture VH1 Classic, the Lee Rollins. And I had this painter come in. My dad, I kept the pictures up way past the time that they should have. All of a sudden, they were overshadowing my Nicole Liger poster, the Samantha Fox one, the heavy metal one. It was just a bunch of pretty looking hair metal greats up there. The Tom Kiefers, the Bret Michaels of the world. And this painter said, "Sure got a lot of girly men on the wall." And I said, "I'm sorry, is that not manly enough for you, Dominic? I ain't no fag, Scalante." So let's get back to Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying swinging 20s. I guess because that time period does feel, on a very visceral level, many light years far removed galaxies ago. Here we go. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. Restraining orders are no longer necessary. Now I'll just crash into my office futon. Instead, whenever boozy tempers flare out of control, into non-compute logic land. I really like that one. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. Now passing out feels more organic and less degenerate. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. It's far less time consuming because I'm not hounding everything that moves. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. At least mama's flapping isn't due to excessive recreational poundage. Snuggling 40s versus my swinging 20s. My HPV concerns solely deal with my 7-year-old daughter getting preventive shots sooner than later. Hope you enjoyed that, folks, as much as I did. This is my wife. You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. My reply, do you play harmonica rib on Samuel for more howls of unrivaled, rip-roaring delight? You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. No, we just play more together. Van Halen erupts on vinyl, and he becomes my air guitar appendage, for Christ's sake. You calm down for daddy, baby. I ain't still more joy than you. After the bubble, I roll baby Samuel up into our $100 pink towel from our wedding and belt out, Pink Cubano in the house! You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. Or you lack the comedic chops to lighten the mood with Samuel better than I. You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. Stranger anxiety only applies to my mother, babe. You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. I don't persecute him for playful noshing either. You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. He's my little wingman. We bond over hair metal ballads, which fly to the angels. Can't sing, and it drives me nuts. You come down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. Do you smash your big noggin into his belly in the form of my falling putsy apple tree routine part 2? He loves that. You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. With me, life is more beautiful. Our relationship runs deeper than mere milk transfer. I just eliminated my entire female audience right there. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. You play him classical, baby, but I play him Neil Young on Spotify. Of course he feels cooler in my arms. You calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. He said ball before boop. Plus, he never fusses at the park watching daddy drain threes from way downtown. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. Then he's the largest Ethiopian kid I've ever seen. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. I'm not the one who cuts baby off from more boob. Is our bed an open milk bar or not? He must have been hyper because he was hungry. Or he was starved for daddy's deeper embrace past more boob. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. You did do a yummy dance in my honor after my veggie supreme casserole last night, babe. Yeah, you calm down for daddy, baby. He must have been hyper because he was hungry. Aggressive huggers stick together, babe. You calm down for daddy, baby. Funnier dad, happier baby. Controlling my kids through comedy is the only tagline for my podcast. Feel free to check it out sometime. I'm only at 44 and counting. You calm down for daddy, baby. Nicknames create more personalized connections, babe. Like when baby sticks his tongue out. His brother, sister, and I yell, Jabba! Hut, hut, hike in the house! And of course, baby Samuel licks it up! Licks it up! Oh! So this is the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Controlling our kids through comedy can make our kids great again. And can I get a holla for some more holla? And I'll talk to you guys soon.